Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be doing a video on my updated PlayStation collection. Since the last time I did one was, I don't know, probably a couple years ago. I don't know if I did one for 2017, but I have a good amount of games, a lot more than what I expected to have. So let's start. All right, first up we have Pong: The Next Level. I prefer to play the original. It's not a terrible game though, so don't get me wrong. Next we have Need for Speed High Stakes. Pretty good game. Toka Championship Racing. Pretty good racing game actually. I like that their cars have actual damage. I don't know, to me that makes the game more fun, I guess. WWF SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. Really fun game. I used to play this game years ago when I was a kid, and I loved it. So, kind of fun, reliving some old school memories. Next is WWF SmackDown. I don't have the case, well, I don't have a complete copy of the game, but I do want to get one, a complete copy of, eventually. But for now, just holding off on that. Next is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. I only have the back part, but not the front. I should look on eBay and see if I can find a manual replacement. I'm sure I can find one. I mean, I found one for The Warriors, Colin McRae Rally 3, and Mortal Kombat Unchained, so I'm sure I could find one for Crash Bandicoot 3. Next is Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. I should get a replacement case for this one, because I bought this at Goodwill for like $1.50, and it was really scratched, but it works as if it had no scratches, so it works perfectly fine. Never had any issues with it. Crash Bandicoot, really fun game. Found this at a pawn shop for $5, and it's in surprisingly good shape. Normally when people sell shit at pawn shops, their games aren't really in good shape. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, another really great game. Me and my brother, well, my brother used to play this more than I did, but I would play it from time to time. It's a great game. Next is Dino Crisis. Basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs. That's the best way that I can describe it. And plus it's also made by the same creators who did Resident Evil, so. Harry Potter and the Chamber, I was going to say Chamber of Secrets, I stopped myself there. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This game is pretty fun. It's weird because when the kids are speaking, it sounds like a really loud echo. I guess to kind of make it more real that the kids are in the school and the school is like ridiculously large. Tenchu 2, Birth of the Stealth Assassins. I'm a very big fan of Tenchu. I have the first 3. I don't have Fatal Shadows, although I do want to get that game just to to play it. I know that Rikimaru's not in the 4th game, so it's Ayame and another character. I think her name was Rin, so it's like 2 females, I think. So that game seems to be really hard to find. Like if you don't go on eBay or Amazon. Tenchu Stealth Assassins, really great game. I remember me and my cousin. Well, my cousin had this game, and I used to watch him play it. It was so awesome to see him play that. Next we have Rayman. Another game from my childhood. I used to play this a lot, but I was pretty terrible at it. I mean, I still am, so nothing's really changed. 007, The World Is Not Enough. This was actually the first 007 game that I bought, or not bought. It was given to me, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember my brother and my cousin used to play. I think it was Agent Under Fire. That one was the one that they played a lot. So I'm actually kind of surprised I still remember that. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It's not a good game. It's not. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. This game is actually really fun. I actually had the demo for it years ago, and I used to play it all the time. And I didn't remember what it was. I knew it was a Star Wars game. I just didn't remember the name. And it wasn't until I watched one of JonTron's episodes for Starcade, which is him doing like little miniature reviews in multiple videos of the Star Wars games from the Atari all the way up to now, pretty much. So, and this was ironically one of the games that he did a little quick review on. So, really thanks to him, I found out what the Star Wars game was called. SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge. This was like nostalgic for me. You know, before I used to really, really like this game. Coming back to it now, you know, years later, it's not as good as I remember it being. But it's not terrible though. Wild 9. This was another game that I remember fondly from my childhood, and I loved it. It was a great game. Very fun and funny. So, this game is really, really underrated. It's a really underrated game. It's very fun, too. Next is Mortal Kombat Mythologies. Sub-Zero. A really, really, really great game. I actually like it. I really do. The only thing is that it doesn't have any replay value after you finish the game. So, it's kind of a bummer. But still, it's a fun game, though. I surprisingly go back to it from time to time. Gran Turismo 2. A pretty fun racing game. I actually do really, really like it. And the cars look pretty nice for it being on the PlayStation. Next is Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, the case is broken. The hinge that holds it together is broken, so kind of have to hold it. I was moving my little desk, and it fell and it busted, so I was kind of pissed off about that. The only long box game that I have, Mortal Kombat 3. I had the standard version of this, you know, in the smaller CD case, and I sold it. I didn't even get the amount that I had paid for. I only paid $5 for it, and I didn't even get that back. That's bad. So, kind of bummed out about that. Next is Bloody Roar 2. I never played Bloody Roar before, so this was the first time I ever played any of the games in the series, and it's not bad. I know there's a lot of people who say Bloody Roar is really underrated. It's okay. Darkstalkers 3. Much like Bloody Roar 2, I've never played Darkstalkers before, so this was the first game that I got in the series, and this one was really expensive. It was like close to $30. It was $28 to be exact. Next we have Dead or Alive. I have Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore and Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, and Dimensions on the 3DS. So, it's a really fun game. I actually do like it. Wu-Tang, Shaolin Style. This was a game from my childhood, and I absolutely love this game. I know, you know, fighting game fans say that this game is crap, but I personally like it. It's still as good as I remember it years ago. It's really fun. Especially if you have a few friends over and you play this game together, you're bound to have a fun time. Mortal Kombat 4. Another game that me and my cousin played a lot together. Really fun game. Really, really enjoy it. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. The sole reason why I became a big fighting game fan and a big Mortal Kombat fan was this game right here. I know fans don't like Mortal Kombat Trilogy. There's some people who do love it, but the majority of them kind of hate it. But for me, Mortal Kombat Trilogy holds a very, very special place in my heart, because if it wasn't for this game, I wouldn't even be a big gamer, let alone a big fighting game fan or a Mortal Kombat fan. So, really great game. I love it. Next we have Tekken 3, considered the best Tekken game by everyone pretty much. Fans, critics, anybody. You know, it's a really fantastic game, and I can understand why so many people love Tekken 3. It's a great game. Next we have Tekken 2, another awesome game. This one is the one that me and my cousin played a lot. I remember he showed me Yoshimitsu's throw that he does from behind the opponent, and when I was younger I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It still is to this day. I still say that Yoshimitsu's throw that he does from behind the enemy is still like the best throw ever. Tekken. It hasn't aged well, but I like it. It's not a terrible game. I do surprisingly go back from it. I do go back to it from time to time. Namco Museum Volume 3. A really fun compilation. Paid like $3 for it. So, really good price. Namco Museum Volume 1. Volume 2, 4, and 5 are ridiculously hard to find. Not only that, they're expensive too. Like, if you bought all 3 of those compilations, Namco Museum Volume 2, 4, and 5, you're probably going to be shelling out almost $300 for all 3 games. They're really, really pricey. I guess it's because they had more obscure games than Volume 1 and 3 did. Next we have Television Classic Games. It's weird, the side of it says one name, and then on the front it says something completely different. But yeah, it's in Television Classic Games. This one has 30 in total. I have Intellivision Live, so this is kind of inferior. But it's still cool. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Activision Classics, that's what it says on the side. Again, this one has 30 games. I have Activision Anthology on the Game Boy Advance and PlayStation 2, and Activision Hits Remixed on the PSP. This one is more or less inferior, but it's still fun though. Atari Anniversary Edition Redux. Really cool compilation. I paid, I think, $7 for it. It's really, really fun. And all of the games in here are the arcade originals. They're not the Atari 2600 versions. I have Atari Anthology, and that one has like 89. This one has 12. But I like to play the different versions of the compilations. Konami Arcade Classics. This compilation was expensive, like $40. Well worth the money. There's 10 games in total, and they're all really, really fun. Next is Grand Theft Auto 2. I have the collector's edition. It just didn't come with the holder for all 3 games. It didn't come with it. It doesn't really bother me. Don't really care. Grand Theft Auto London, 1969. It's really weird how you have to play this. You have to put London in first, then you have to take it out, put GTA in, then when it's done reading GTA, you have to take it out, and then put this back in, and then the game will start. It's a little bit of a process to go through and play the game, but it's really cool. Grand Theft Auto. I can honestly say that I have every GTA game that has come out from the very first all the way up to the 5th one. And I even have Chinatown Wars, Liberty City Stories, and Vice City Stories on the PS2. I have them all, and they're really great games. I do like them a lot. Even the GBA version of Grand Theft Auto, its own storyline and everything. It's a really fun game. Next is Gex. My cousin showed me this game, and I fell in love with it. And I had it before, like years ago. And it took me a while to get my hands on another copy, and when I did, I was extremely happy. It's a really great game. Really awesome. It's pretty underrated to me, I think. Now, this one is definitely underrated. Nightmare Creatures. I seen Kid Icarus do a review on this, and really thanks to him, I found out what the name of the game was called. Because I had the demo for it years ago, and I did not know what it was called. I was like maybe 6, 7 years old, so, name didn't really care to me. Now that I'm really happy that he did the review on it, because if he didn't, I probably wouldn't have even remembered what the game was called. So, yeah, it's a really great game. Really underrated. Vigilante 8, Second Offense. This is pretty much Activision's take on Twisted Metal, back when Twisted Metal was like really, really popular. So, it's a really cool game. It's fun. Plays almost like Twisted Metal. Some of the buttons are a little different, but Vigilante 8, really fun game. Apparently, the first Vigilante 8 was really popular and became a greatest hits, as well as Vigilante 8 2. But I think the second game didn't sell as well as the first. So I guess Activision was like, yeah, we're not gonna be doing any more. So I was kind of bummed out about that. It would have been cool to see other Vigilante 8 games, but. Next we have Twisted Metal Small Brawl. I played the demo for this years ago, and I thought it was a game that was inspired by Twisted Metal. Years later, I come to find out it was Twisted Metal, just with RC cars. It's really fun. I actually do like it. It's not bad. Next is Twisted Metal 4. I know fans don't like Twisted Metal 3 and 4 at all. They hate them. I personally think they're not bad. I really don't. They're not terrible. I mean, and it's kind of good. It's kind of how do I put it? David Jaffe kind of made a good point. They're not bad games. They're just not good Twisted Metal games, and they're not bad games. They're not what Twisted Metal is. So I can understand why he said that. But yeah, they're not terrible, but they're not meant to. They shouldn't be called Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal 3. I have all of the Twisted Metal games. I wanted to play them all because I remember playing them years ago and enjoying them a lot. So apparently my sister said we have Twisted Metal 3, and I absolutely have no memory of that. So next we have Twisted Metal 2. I think maybe because Twisted Metal 1, 2, and 3 are almost similar to each other, that's why I don't remember. Because I'm thinking, maybe if I played Twisted Metal 2 and 3, I would just thought of it as the first. So, but yeah, Twisted Metal 2, considered the best Twisted Metal by anyone and everyone who's played Twisted Metal. It's a really fantastic game, and I can see why this game is loved by a lot of people. And lastly, we have the original Twisted Metal. Great game, very, very fun. So, yeah, that's my entire PlayStation collection. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good afternoon. Most importantly, stay safe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, take care. Bye-bye.